Fire Your Landlord, a mentality for success. That's what I'm offering today, is the understanding that it's probably well overdue for you to start thinking about firing your landlord and becoming a homeowner. Stop. I know you probably think you've heard it all before, but this will help you. And even if you're somebody that's already got a home and just interested in what's happening in Las Vegas real estate, well, I've got my 7-day market update for you to know exactly what's happening, and you'll be the first to know if you continue to watch my 7-day market updates. I assure you, it's the best information you can possibly have when it comes to what's happening next in Las Vegas real estate. So check it out on the other side. Be right there. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking with me. I'm Rob Howe. I'm a realtor in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I do a lot of work out here and have for many, many years. If you're looking for somebody that really has your needs in mind, and I'm always trying to give you that information that I would want, well, then you found a great channel. I hope you subscribe to this channel, and I hope you enjoy this information today. So let's start out by saying everybody should be looking to fire their landlord. Unless you're sticking in Vegas for only a little bit of time, you should be looking to become a homeowner. You want to participate in what creates the most wealth for the most people and has always done that, which is real estate. So if you're not, you're actually creating wealth, of course, for your landlord. For a temporary time, that's fine. That's how we kind of, we level up. But our goal should be to truly level up into a home. And then, hey, you're going to have maybe multiple opportunities to buy homes. And this is how wealth is created. So first thing I would say, number one thing that I think you've got to do with any goal that you're trying to achieve is be able to visualize yourself doing that said goal, okay? You got to be able to visualize yourself as a homeowner. If you can't see that, that's going to be a very difficult process. You have to be able to see it in your mind's eye first. So visualize being a homeowner. That's where you want to start. Just visualizing it. And then, it's just never too soon to start setting up the dominoes for success to buying your home. Whether it's now or whether it's down the road, it's never too soon, I promise you. I've worked with people in some cases for years before they finally were able to get that opportunity, and all of those people are ecstatic that they made it happen. They sometimes credit me, which I find preposterous, because they did the heavy lifting and made sure to do, what they needed to do. It helps to have somebody by your side every step of the way, giving you the best advice possible, but you're going to drive this train. And so where are you going to start? You're going to start with your credit. Unless you're buying a house with cash, which most people aren't, you're going to start with credit. Now, maybe you want to talk to a lender. Even if it's a ways out, find out what your scenario is. And sometimes that my lender certainly would be able to give you a pathway to success. Sometimes we have to look at credit repair. Does your credit need repair? Well, okay, that may take some time. And then again, it may not take much time. You may actually just need a couple of things, but you got to do it the right way, okay? So these are steps that we would help you take to make sure that you're going down the right path. And you just have to take your head out of your butt. Really, don't be an ostrich. The ostrich doesn't do any good by burying its head in its sand. Look, even in the real world, an actual ostrich, the entire body is still exposed to whatever it's hiding from, okay? So it's probably gonna get killed. It just doesn't want to see it happen. So it buries its head in the sand. I mean, it sounds morbid, but I'm using a metaphor here, obviously. We don't want to bury our heads in the sand. Take your head out of the sand and look it in the eye, whatever you have to deal with, whether it starts with credit or saving money. That would be the next thing. You need to save some money. You can buy a home with as little as 3.5% down. That's through an FHA loan. But also, there might be more opportunity ahead for down payment assistance in the future. Right now, it's not the greatest programs out there, but I think those will start opening up. Our current president did promise that he would put into place some of these down payment assistance programs, but I think he's been a little busy with all the other crap going on, and unfortunately, the real estate market has been made to struggle with the things that have had to have been done. Not exciting, not getting political really, but it sucks. Let's move on here. So you're gonna wanna stay positive in the face of adversity as well. I feel like everybody's being told that, this home ownership thing, it's like, it feels like it's impossible. Well, if you start taking steps now, you're going to defy those odds, and you need to, because this is total BS, the idea that it's impossible. You just need to work your way to it and make sure you're getting yourself prepared for an opportunity that may lie ahead. Okay, so the market's not great for you now, but maybe it will be, and I think it will be as time goes on. So prepare now. Act as if you have this opportunity ahead. And now when you're thinking about, now you've got your cash, okay, I know what I'm gonna do to save my money here. Probably not easy for everybody, but start doing what you can there. Then you're thinking about location. Whether you're staying in Las Vegas or you're coming to Las Vegas, you gotta figure out what house style is going to fit your location, okay? And that means, if you wanna be in a prime area, maybe you have to go with a condo to be in that prime area because it's gonna be less expensive for you to buy. You're gonna have some things, some little hurdles, and you wanna understand those things. And that could be associated with where you want to live, what location you want to live inside Las Vegas or whatever city you're going to. So keep that in mind. Are you married? Because that means 2 incomes, and that would mean that 3.5% down, payment can be more easily achieved, and certainly what you can qualify for could be doubled. So if you're like, well, I qualify for $400,000 on my own, but I'm going to have a family. I do have a family, and I'm married, and my wife also has income, or my husband, or whoever your partner has income. Well, that can be now maybe close to doubled. And so you might be looking at $500,000-$600,000. Sounds simple, but I want you to understand that. Also, co-signers could come into play. I've had people that have had help from their parents to be able to purchase property, and they've even been able to use gift funds from their parents to be able to help with the down payment. So these are all things that are achievable. I want you to be able to see and know about those things and start being able to stack up the positives and create these opportunities ahead. If you believe the negative news, it sounds impossible, then it's probably impossible. That's what you're believing. But when you start believing that it's possible, when you start taking one bite-sized chunk out at a time, just think of things as one bite at a time. Our personalities are all different. Some of us want to get out there and get things done all in one swoop. Well, this may not be that situation, but you can get started and start taking one bite-sized chunk out at a time. That's how I would personally attack it. In a time when many are saying that housing has issues and there's going to be instability, I want to assure you that if you're coming to Las Vegas, I really believe that in the long term, we are on the up, that you are not going to have a situation where you're headed towards financial ruin because of your home. I think what happened in the Great Recession when I got into the market was a very rare circumstance. It took a number of different dynamics for that circumstance to arise. We don't have that scenario. We actually have a very sturdy scenario when I look at things and the way that what's going on with housing right now. So I do not believe in any way, shape, or form when it comes to Las Vegas and the potential for Las Vegas that you're entering into a situation where you are going to get yourself, stung because you bought a home. That's never something we want to be entering into. We look for the trouble and we hunt it down before we have it. And if we can see a problem ahead, that's what we're going to do. I would never want somebody to get involved in a situation where they're going to lose their tail because they're trying to benefit themselves in their life. So start now. Start visualizing your goal ahead. That's my main message here. And I think that's going to get you to where you're trying to go. I want to thank you right now. I got more for you, but I want to thank you for coming to my TED Talk on how to fire your landlord. This is a general mentality that I think you need to have. And you really need to get to that mentality where I'm firing that mother effing landlord. Not all of them are bad, but my goodness, I have a lot of stories that I hear from my friends and from some of my clients that I've helped out along the way with the landlord situation. It's no bueno. I think for the long term, you got to get away from that. Most of you know that. And I think anybody else is learning that. Let's go right to the numbers, folks. I'm going to jump into what's happening in the 7-day market update. Now, if you are here for this, thank you for sticking through my little TED Talk. And where we're going to go right away is the total amount on the multiple listing service, and that is 5,309 properties. Last week, when I did this, it was 5,319 properties. That's a 10 property decrease, obviously. So I would say we are in neutral territory. We were going up in inventory incrementally, and we are now neutral. It went down only by a slight bit, so I would call that neutral. And there's a reason for that. I think we're still exiting a relatively powerful time for housing, which is the summertime. But we are entering a time where I think there's going to be less buyer activity and more properties coming on. Not a ton. This isn't going to be like all of a sudden the dump truck shows up and dumps a whole bunch of properties on the market, but it's going to start incrementally stacking up. Let's look at what new listings are coming on the market, coming soon listings, and back on the market. Back on the market properties, of course, are properties that maybe went into escrow and fell out of escrow. They had an offer on them, and that offer fell out for whatever reason. Now they're back on market looking for a new offer. That is 991. We have 991 of those properties. The week prior, it was 973. So we have just a little hair bit more inventory there coming on. For the under contract sold, under contract no show, contingent upon sale, expired, temporarily off the market, withdrawn, conditional. Last week, that number was a little lower than this week. It was at 1054, and this week it's at 1125. Really what that is from the expired, temporarily off the market, withdrawn conditional properties. There was a little bump in those, in that amount of properties. And so that's why I'm going to break this into two sections now. I'm going to keep it as the properties that are going into escrow, which is under contract show, under contract no show, and contingent upon sale. That was 752. The week prior, it was 779. Expired, temporarily off the market, withdrawn conditional, and withdrawn 373 this week, 290 the previous week. And so that's where I'm seeing that little bump is in that section there. Overall, when I break it down, the numbers are fairly neutral. I do notice that we have price increases are staying lower, under 100. The sellers are realizing maybe they shouldn't push their prices. I think that's going to continue. And let's see what sold. Last week, we had the lowest week that since I've been doing this at 552. There were 552 solds last week. This week, there's 607 solds. So there's that, still a little bit of spurting of the strength in the market that we've had, where that might show up and create a neutral week like we're having this week, where it doesn't really show an upward tick of inventory, but remaining mostly flat. All right, folks, expect each week my predictions to start coming true. I think it's fairly obvious in my mind that we are going to incrementally get more inventory. Again, sellers, get on the stick, get your property on the market before you get more competition and you maybe don't make as much money. Okay, that's important. And buyers, if you're hearing me, maybe the opportunity for you is ahead. All right, folks, I appreciate you watching this video. I hope you get something out of it. I hope you fire your landlord if you haven't already. And please subscribe to my channel for more of where this came from. I'm going to bring you the best I can every week. And in the meantime, have a great day. I'll see you next week, folks.